Alright folks, we're just going to look at an issue about creatards. Hope everybody's okay. Love to everybody. Love to all the atheists out there. Just a little note. I have had a beef on Zarima 100 with hardcore atheism. I was at war with them politically, and I just want to say that that was a specific minority of atheists I was fighting against politically. I have no problems with 99% of atheists. I think atheist, I can get along with any atheist, but if they're this hardcore atheist, it just really gets up my back. It really does. It just really winds me up. It's just that aggressive, smarmy, we're cleverer than you attitude drives me nuts. I don't like it. But any average atheist out there, or you know, like Caden, who did a video to me, I've got heaps of respect. Even if you believe in evolution, I've got heaps of respect for you. The reason why I'm doing this video is because if it's your first time, don't forget to subscribe and let me know what you're doing. Give us your questions and thoughts about the channel, what you'd like on the channel. I want to just deal with a question about a thought about language. Language is powerful. You know, the way we use language controls and manipulates the situation. It can control and manipulate political, religious and philosophical and intellectual and scientific discourse. You know, Foucault had done studies where he would take a particular word, such as the word enlightenment, and he would trace, this is a French philosopher, he would trace if you type in Foucault enlightenment, you might find the lectures, and he would trace the word enlightenment throughout history, and he would see how the word changed, and it would change according to whoever was in power philosophically at the time, or politically, and they would take the word and they would define it and use it in the way that they want to manipulate the discourse at that particular period of history. So the word enlightenment would change as people were in control, whoever were in control at the particular time, philosophically or politically. So the way we use words and language controls the situation. So one word that is very controlling is calling people creatards. You'll find this if you type into just type into creationist, evolutionist debate, look at any videos there, and the word creatard will come up. Now the word creatard is a way of manipulating public space. It's a way of manipulating the debate and the discourse. It's like saying these are so stupid that their position couldn't possibly have any evidence whatsoever, and before even people get a chance to look at what the creationists might say, they've been prejudiced by this language. Another example is fundamentalist. If you look at the 1920s, when the word fundamentalist was used, it was meant towards a specific group of people who believed that the Bible was the word of God. It believed in the creation account, and it was against biblical criticism, the new criticism that was along. That's what the word fundamentalist was used. But the modernists used that word fundamentalist to pigeonhole Christians as if they were anti-intellectual. And so you can get a book like this that was written at the time. It's called The Fundamentals, and it was 2 volumes. This is the first volume of essays defending the Christian faith around about 1920s, 1930s. And the modernist scholars would call the scholars in here as fundamentalists. They were people anti-intellectual against modern science and against biblical criticism. But what that did was it prejudiced the American public as to what the fundamentalists were saying. And if you look at the fundamentalist scholars in the 1920s and 30s, they were just as able as the modernist scholars, but they were muted, they were castrated, as it were, intellectually by the modernists, because the word fundamentalist tagged them as anti-intellectual. So that word controlled public discourse in the 1920s and 30s and muted a specific group from having any influence within the culture. Alright? And now take the word fundamentalist now. The word fundamentalist has a different meaning. Now it's more with Islamic extremism and people who blow up abortion clinics. But that same word fundamentalist, which is being used for the religious extremists of Islamic extremism and people blowing up abortion clinics, is now being used in the Christian culture, towards the general Christian culture. They're fundamentalists, as if they're dangerous kind of people. So we see our language is used by different groups. That's just the atheist secular group, but you know, it goes on with the Christian group as well. So all I'm saying is, when you hear words like creatard as an atheist, you are open-minded atheist and fundamentalist, I just want to ask, I just want you to be aware that these words have power to control discourse, and to say, well, hang on, let me just put the words aside, let me put my prejudice aside, I'm just going to be open-minded, I'll hear what they have to say, and I'll see if it stands up to scrutiny. So don't let the words control you, your prejudice. You know, when you hear creatard, when you hear fundamentalist, realise that these are words that are controlling public discourse, and that when you hear any kind of words like that, just be aware and try to push it aside and be open-minded. And you know, there's a recent philosopher, I think she's called Professor Butler or something like that, and she won't name anything. She's a brilliant philosopher. She won't name anything, because if you name something, you've already prejudiced the debate. Don't you think that's brilliant? I think that's amazing. If you name something, you've already prejudiced the debate. If I call you an evolutionist, say, I'm going to have a debate with an evolutionist, then already I've set my categories in place, the parameters of the debate, the parameters of the discussion, and I've prejudiced the debate. But if I don't name something, but just discuss it and read about it and learn about it, then I'm more likely to be open-minded to whatever that particular philosophy or thinking is saying. So I would just say that when we're listening to debates from atheists or Christian, from Hindus or Muslims or whatever, to get past the language that's being used to control, and just to say, well, I'll take whatever this person's saying on face value, and I'll allow them to speak, and I'll hear and see if it does genuinely come up to critical scrutiny. That's all I'm saying. Beware of the power of language. It can control. God bless you, and take care.